Hello and welcome to my channel, Cali Legends Media. Yesterday I was in a discussion with a friend of mine, and we were discussing Chicano culture, you know, what it is to be a Chicano. And I remember at one time, very long time ago, that was like a derogatory term, a Chicano, you know. Later it was adopted during the 60s and 70s, during the political movement, when the raza wanted equal rights to education, equal rights in the workplace, and equal rights to be able to buy property. Because for a while, they wouldn't sell us property in East Los Angeles. When the Jews and the Russians owned most of this property here in East Los Angeles, you could rent it, you couldn't buy it. If they sold it to another Caucasian, another Jew, another Russian, whatever descent. But Mexicans weren't offered the opportunity to buy these houses here in East Los Angeles. We were forced by the government to go to certain schools depending on what area we lived in. They called them school districts. And so if you lived in a poor district, you went to a school that had less funding, older books, less air conditioning in the summertime for summer school. And it just wasn't as good as it was for the kids in the more white areas. They even went as far as busing kids. They called it integration, where they would bus black kids to schools over here in LA and kids from here in East LA to other schools, you know, in other rural areas or poorer areas. You know, they say it was to cut down on the racism and the racial lines. That wasn't what it was. It was just to keep everybody stuck in these poorer schools where they wouldn't teach you the same curriculum as some of the other junior high schools, even elementary schools. And it went on like that for years until the Chicano movement started fighting for these rights, okay? And then you heard terms like Chicano power, que viva la raza, and you'd see the fist, you know, Chicano power, all stemming from that same movement, that same political movement. And being a Chicano meant you were of Mexican descent, but you were American also, okay? Which didn't sit well with a lot of the Mexicanos. Being Chicano was like being a pocho. You know, you were put in that same bag. A lot of people looked at it that way, you know. Like you were giving up part of your Mexican heritage to become Americanized by coming to the United States and by living in the United States, you know. But part of the political argument was, hey, we were here first. This was Mexico. And it engulfed a lot of issues, okay? The movimiento engulfed a lot of issues. One of them, they wanted schools that the majority was Hispanic students or Mexican students, Latino students, whatever term you're going to use. I know, you know, we could get into it, into terminology and all that. Basically, Mexican-American students wanted classes to learn about our heritage, you know, and about our traditions and about the Mexican culture, because we're being deprived of it, being here in the United States, you know. We were learning nothing but the white history, you know. Well, at least whatever part of it that was true that they were teaching us, you know, which is a whole other video. But nonetheless, we started getting Chicano studies and stuff. Anyways, so I just wanted to touch on a little bit about the term, where it came from, where it originated, and when, which was mostly during the 60s and 70s, during the Chicano movement. Now, what ended up happening is the Chicano people created a culture different from that of Mexico and Mexicans. This was from the Mexican American people here in the United States. We created a culture, one that exists today and has crossed racial lines. Okay? You don't need to be Chicano to enjoy Chicano culture. Okay? It involves the way people dress, the way people fix their cars, the music that we listen to, the way we dance. Okay, the Chicanos kind of developed their own style of living and style of entertainment and going out in the weekend in your rides, you know, low riders, lifts, you know. And see, back in the 60s and 70s, it was just the way people dressed. We didn't listen to oldies. No, we listened to music. The music that is now called oldies. Oldies but goodies. You know, it was just music to us. It was the music that was playing on the radio, you know. And you know, you could try to find an oldie channel now on the radio. Good luck, you know. Very, very different. People now, you want to cruise around, you want to bump oldies, you got to have a CD or you know, some type of USB or have Bluetooth and be connected to the internet through your phone or whatever means to play, if you want just to hear nothing but oldies in your car, you know. Back in the days when the music started changing through the 80s and 90s, yeah, you had to have your tapes. Back in the 70s, your 8-tracks, then the cassettes, the CDs, the USBs, it all developed, you know, little by little to the technology that they use today. But back then, like I said, it was just the music that we played on our radios. That's the music we listened to. But now they're oldie but goodies, okay? Chicano culture is changing. If you notice now, more youngsters and more people who adopt the Chicano style are listening to rap music. I'm gonna give a little example that I'm sure everybody knows and realizes. At least I know the people in my age range knows how this took place. But cultures and traditions sometimes cross racial lines. Okay, if you notice, back when Snoop Dogg was young and Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Oliver, they all dressed with Pendletons, you know, white T-shirts, Cortez, you know. You could argue, but that was part of the Chicano culture crossing over into black culture. Just like nowadays, you see Japanese wearing Pendletons, Lokes, you know, paños, you know, the same Chicano style, but you see the dance videos are mostly they're sea walking, right? Or they're doing a dance, you know, I don't know what it's called, like pop locking, whatever it's called, I don't know. That's what we would probably call it, to rap music and to that style of music, which is a crossover from the black culture to the Mexican culture, also to the Japanese culture nowadays. In Japan, very strong lowrider presence, very strong. They got chola style makeup, hair, you know, Chicana style, estilo of dress. So different parts of our culture has crossed over to the black community, to the Japanese community, and other communities also. But also part of the black community, dance, music crossed over to the Chicano community, you know, and is appreciated and listened to and danced, you know. I notice now that it's more going towards having you know, Gucci and you know, designer clothes, expensive jewelries, diamonds. That's what's happening, you know. That style of dress, you know, that's like they kicked it up a notch, you know. But those that dress still with that Chicano flair, you see them today. Does it necessarily mean that they're gang members? In fact, I'm finding that a great majority of them aren't gang members. They're dads, sons, tios that like to wear a nice crisp Pendleton, like their tangos, you know, their cars polished up nice, you know, with their beautiful wives, their beautiful kids in the back, man, just cruising, listening to some music, you know what I mean? It's not gang related. Back in the days, they used to say, oh yeah, you don't need to be a cholo to be Chicano, but if you're a cholo, you're Chicano. You get it? Like, if you're a cholo, most likely you're a Chicano. But there's Chicanos that aren't cholos, you know, and that's very true today, no doubt. A lot of people, Chicanos, that have the Chicano style and live in the Chicano culture and tradition, very much, in some cases, disagree with the different movements that entail gang activity. Okay, it's hurtful to them. It's a bad thing. Lives are being lost. They see it, so they just grown up enjoying the culture. Okay, I'd like to hear in the comment section what you think about this. I'm sure I have things to learn about this. You know, I'm not the Chicanoologist, as one of my homeboys, Little Ernie, what might refer to it as being. I'm not one of those, but I know a little bit, you know, and I live the life, and I truly see it. I believe for what it is, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful culture. It doesn't take away from our Mexican heritage if you still understand that culture. If you could appreciate corridos, pozole, carnitas, charreadas, peleas de gallos, you know, beautiful dresses and dancing, you know, hat dances and other dancing, you know, that Mexican culture is part of us too. But also living here in the United States, being of Mexican background or Spanish background, you know, Hispanics, which in my vocabulary, in my understanding, means you're a descendant of Spain, you know, which I consider myself, because I know that I do have family that came from Spain, that came from France, came through Mexico. You know, I'm a mixture of Spanish and Mexican and French heritage, you know. But really, the only one that really sticks is some of the Spaniard and some of the Mexican. I love bullfights, you know, which was considered a very big sport in Spain. I love the Andaluces, which is a horse that comes from Spain. The Andalusian, that's my favorite horse. Homie going by on his Harley bumping. All right, so I'm gonna end this video. Let me know what you think. If you think I'm incorrect or if I'm missing something, help me out, because I really like to hear about this. Like this is interesting to me. This is important to me, you know, and I'd like to know what you think about it. So I hope to see you in the comment section. Thank you for watching. God bless you. God bless your family. Please protect your freedom with all you got, man. Let's stay out here so we could be here for our family and the people that love us. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next video.